Charlene Esoff is a 35-year industry veteran, former stylist and salon manager, and now is an industry coach with the Delforge Group out of the UK, coaching stylists, managers, and owners. Today, we're going to hear all about her story, how she got to where she is, and what she's doing now. Welcome back to the Hairdresser Strong Show. My name is Robert Hughes, and I am your host. And today, I'm with Charlene Esoff. How you doing today, Charlene?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking the time. I'm interested in this conversation. Well, one, we talk to a lot of coaches in the industry, and
Mm,
there really has been more and more people talking about the value proposition of a coach and whether or not that they're getting that value from a coach. And a lot of
right.
it has to do with kind of self-proclaimed coaches. And I have no problem with that. I think some people can be self-taught. So I don't think you necessarily need to go through a system. But I have heard from other coaches that I know and respect who are not or who are also actually self-taught coaches. But I just know
Yeah.
that they're very successful with helping people. But they're telling me that there are a lot of their students are coming in and saying things like, I didn't learn anything from that person. I feel like I wasted
Mm.
so much money from that person. Are you familiar with the large amount of coaches in the industry and the questionable value that people are getting?
I've heard a lot through certain owners, especially salon owners. I was at a convention not too long ago through Paramount Beauty, and I was having a great conversation with this woman who owns a salon in Smithtown here in New York. And she was telling me and asking me, what's the difference between what you do and what I'm finding online? She was contemplating whether signing a contract with this coaching company that she found online, and the start price was $5,000, and that even shocked me. I was like, "Wait a minute, you didn't start this, you didn't press go yet, did you?" And she says, "No, I kind of thought that that was just the way of it." That's how much they cost and to get started. And I says, well, out of curiosity, for that $5,000, what are you getting? What is he giving you for this? And no real conversation, just kind of back and forth with email. And it was some manuals and some videos. And that is really discouraging because as an owner, a manager, a stylist, when you are really struggling and need some help, you want to know that you're going to reach out to somebody and they're either going to physically be there within the salon with you or through Zoom. And the one thing that I love about the Delforge Group is that one package does not fit everybody. And what I say by package is when you start out and you're looking for financial help as an owner, and you're looking for budgeting help as an owner, it's customizable. It's only what you need, and nowhere near a price point of $5,000. I could tell you that. So it's scary. You can get scammed through a lot of people. So I think word of mouth, just like a lot of things within our industry, word of mouth is huge. One stylist to another, that's how you build your business. So it takes a bit of work and some trust, and don't push that go button and pay $5,000 for something you're not sure that is going to be helpful.
Well, I mean, if you go on social media, I mean, it's easier to search on YouTube because Instagram search, I don't think is very sophisticated. But if you
Mm,
like go on, say, YouTube and you search on how to make money as a coach, then you're going to get all these videos on
mm.
not how to coach,
Yeah, how to make
but
money.
how to
How to
get
make
a
the money.
hook, how to
Yeah.
deliver a hook and get them to work their way down the marketing funnel to where they're
Yeah,
making the
and
money.
that's scary. That's the scams. You have to weed through the scams, and that's the last place. I mean, when I first was introduced to Valerie, I was actually a manager in the salon, and I needed help with the day-to-days, and the owner at the time had stepped away, and I needed somebody for the day-to-day, and truly was a total complete turnaround for me on how to work and how to do business. And when you have somebody educated in the field, and that, you don't know until you're actually sitting there having the conversation with that individual if you're going to click and if that's going to work. So me knowing that when I first met Valerie through the Delforge Group, that such an eye-opening experience, and after coming full circle of working with her as a manager and a coach for 4 years, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to help others and mentor others, just like we were discussing with, helping assistants come into the salons. You need to help others within the industry to succeed and not to fail. And that's where the veterans come in. That's where us that have been in the industry for a long time and have the knowledge and with a genuine heart. I come in with a genuine heart. I'm not coming in looking for the dollars. As long as those clients are understand and can take away from the coaching and mentoring and be successful in their business. And I love to hear people 2, 3 years down the road saying it was the best decision of my life. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what you were starting to touch on. So you
mm,
in our opening we said that you were a former hairstylist and a former manager, and now you're
yes.
full on coaching. So
Hmm.
tell us, tell us a little bit about that journey of working through, because there's some people that are listening or watching, they might be interested in the coach conversation, but they also might be interested in just learning different pathways to finding happiness in their career, or
Mm.
finding success, which is subjective, but uh, nonetheless. So let's start off. So how long were you a stylist before you got into managing?
20 years I was behind the chair and started out like everybody else, right out of cosmetology school, learning, finding the proper salon, which is key. We touched on this a little bit. Really looking into what makes you feel good and people making you feel good and people educating you, and started right from the beginning and took a passion for everything. So I made sure that I was educating myself, and that was making sure that I was in the correct surroundings with people who were willing to lift me up and show me the way. That was it.
Nice. Nice. So how many salons did you work at? First of all, did you
Not
go to school
many.
or did you apprentice?
Did I do what?
Did you go to school or did you apprentice?
A little both. I mean,
Both.
as an assistant, coming out of cosmetology school, you have your license, that's about it. And assisting, and I did help with one stylist very in the very beginning, right when I got out of cosmetology school. I was with one stylist for about 6 months. I was kind of like her apprentice, and I was helping her. She was a busy senior stylist. They wanted me to focus on her. And I think that that really helped mold me for a lot of things I wanted to do and not do. So that was a great experience. I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to put myself in the right position in right salons and to be nurtured like that. I think that that's what made me grow into, who I am today and what I've learned and what I want to help with other people. And so for 15 years, I was only in 3 salons, and one was very quick, was for the first year. I realized that wasn't for me. And then, a good, 10 and another 10 years in another salon, very long time, and I found homes in both salons. So, which is rare, but I was fortunate. And then leaving the second salon, I was just strictly manager, and then went right into the coaching with the Delforge Group.
Okay, so you went to school, you started working at a salon, you stayed for
Mhm.
about a year, that didn't really work out. The next salon you went to, you were at for 10 years.
Yes.
And is that where you started taking on managerial roles? Did you do that simultaneous while you were the stylist? Did
No,
you have quit?
no. I was not like you where, you really need to have it. I don't, I have to hand it to you. It's a lot of work. Just being a full-time stylist alone but then you're on top of that doing the manager role. I decided in the second salon that I had gone to that when I was offered that position that I really just wanted to focus on the managerial role. It was enough in itself. It didn't stop me from helping the girls wash hair and, apply the toners and cape up the clients, hands on all the way. And so, but the managerial was really something that I enjoyed doing. And I fell into that just as easily as doing hair behind the chair.
So how did you how did that happen? Were you like you said you were offered the management job, and
Yes.
so like if I was thinking about offering someone a manager job, then I'd
Mm.
see them like I'd want to train them or I'd want to know they have experience. How did that happen for you? Did you just kind of jump feet first into the fire and figure it out as you
Yeah.
went, or
Um,
did you get
I
any
was
training?
I was there really helping with reception for quite
Okay.
a bit. And then reception turned into stock control and inventory and
Uh,
learning product knowledge. So it wasn't like, like I didn't have that experience like I have now. Like now, if I was to apply for a managerial role, my resume looks a little bit different than it did, 10, 13 years ago when I first started. So the reception, big process. That's a big deal. That's a key to any business. Product knowledge, learning everything about the products, inventory, learning how to monitor and count your inventory and do the ordering. And then it just progressed from there, taking over a little bit of the scheduling of the staff, and then at that time, the owner was looking to step away from the business for a little bit to try some other adventures. And they wanted me to just strictly focus on the day to day. And then that's where they were like, we're going to give you the support that you need. And we're going to bring in the coaching from the Delforge Group. So that's how that is. Because once you go into that day to day operation of, payroll and KPIs and, all the reports and the quarterly meetings, everything changes. So you really need somebody that is dedicated to taking you through it.
yeah,
A lot
really.
of work,
Yeah,
right?
really. It's like you got to start. It's cool that you got to start off slowly.
Yeah.
Work at
It
the
was a
desk.
great, I have to say, it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Everything through my career, I've been fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. And, but you never realize that there's just so much more to the industry than just cutting hair and coloring hair, which is fantastic. I love it. And I do it a little bit on the side. Of course, your family never leaves you alone, truly. But loving every part of it, every aspect of it, dealing with the reps through all the different products, having a relationship with them, right? They become
That's
your
that to me,
friends.
that's the part that is like that's one of the most challenging parts because there's so much information. The
Ugh,
reps are constantly giving you all this stuff, and it's like, I can't read it all.
I
Like
can't read it
it's
all.
just
Yeah.
like if you want to get through to us, you're gonna have to set up time, host a
Yeah.
class, and introduce
Yes.
product knowledge. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know what to
And
say.
going to their seminars that they have on
I
Monday.
like that.
Right?
I
And
like
meeting
that.
people. I've met so many fantastic people, and really, my reps have been in. Even though I'm not within the salon right now, we talk almost daily. Just keeping up on things, and you become a family and friends over all these years. How can you work with somebody for 10, 13, 15 years, and then okay, I'm done with there, so I don't speak to you anymore. No, it's just a wealth and introducing to different people. You network, you still network,
Well,
and
just because we're talking about this for a moment, I had the big thing right now that's happening is more. There's like different brands offering more intimate experience with the brand via human connection and more support or whatever. And then there's other brands, not
mm,
naming any names, that are cutting out that intimate
mm,
experience and forcing people to like make purchases online and
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see all this happening, and it's like really I find it extremely challenging to stay on top of, and I guess that's kind of like one of the trade-offs that I'm making, working the way I do. It's like if I was full time, like what you're talking about, then I think we'd probably have a little better handle on the
It's
product.
hard.
You
You
know,
need when you need that support, sometimes you need to pull from within in the salon. We had a variety of products, labels, different manufacturers, and one in particular was based on the West Coast. And so they were not rep friendly in the tri-state area. So everything was through email, and now it's 3-hour time difference. So you have, that, and you can't get anybody on the phone. And when you place the order, it's a 10-day ship, and it starts to become a problem. And you have to really get on the phone and through those emails and say, hey, I need to speak to somebody and we need to figure this out. There needs to be a better solution here. And then there's other products with reps that you never hear from. You get an email every 3 months, hey, how's it going, and you order online and you do that and you see that their name is coming up still on the side, so they're getting credit for all that, but there's no communication. And then you have the reps, like I had two out of the many that were 2-3 times a week. Is everything good? Do you need anything? You want to do a class, you want to put a class together. So
my
that's what.
favorite person is the one that comes in every 2 weeks
Yeah.
and in person. She's my favorite. My second favorite is the person who I actually don't work a lot with because we don't use that company. Um,
Oh.
she's trying to get us to use that company for more things, but that would require me learning about their entire catalog and like
Oh boy,
figuring
really.
out what things can place, and that's a big ask.
Mm,
So the more things she tells me that they carry, the more I order from her because I want to give her the business. But
right.
she'll randomly just reach out to me and just check in with me. She supported me through other like endeavors like outside of the salon. So
You
you know I,
see, there's people in the industry that care about you as the person. They see the person you are, and yeah, they want to be helpful, and I love that.
Yeah. And then we have one other guy that he's more than happy to come in, but like we just don't have like the bandwidth to bring people in very
Mm.
often because of
That's
everyone has
difficult.
different
Yeah,
schedules,
yeah, yeah.
so
You can't stop what you're doing. You're in the middle of two, three,
yeah,
four different things, and you can't. I get that, but the reps are important.
so
They help
important,
you. Yeah,
so
and then
important. Like
the
the
points, right?
all the
Do you
benefits, all the education, like there's
right?
so much business
Yes.
education and like I mean there's a way that is one thing I've discovered in the
Mm,
last like 6 months working with more and more companies for Hairdresser Strong, not necessarily the salon, but for Hairdresser Strong, I'm learning about like because we want to offer education to our followers, but like it's like well, it turns out these people have a lot of resources. Like I don't
yeah,
think
you'd be
anybody uses
surprised the
them
reach.
all.
I called my one rep the other day. I was like, "Hey, do you know anybody in the Hudson Valley?" And she goes, "Yeah, hold on one second." I was like, "This is amazing." One phone call and it's taken care of. And the classes, I loved it when, as a manager, I could say to the staff, "Hey, July 11th, whatever, we're doing a class. It's a Monday. We're doing X, Y, and Z." And they're like, "No way, get out of here." And there's no charge, and they come in and they bring the donuts and the coffee and bagels for the staff. It's just a fantastic it's a fantastic way for them to be and to help us out, you have to admit, for sure.
All right, so let's get back to your story. So I'm curious. So as a coach, one, how long is the process to become a coach with Delforge Group, and why did you choose them?
I met Valerie going back about 5 years now, and she helped me with the day to day. She was my coach. We were working together, and her patience, and there's no time frame. You can, if you called me and said, Charlene, I need help with my financials. I'm really struggling with this. Can we go through some financials? And, you know, we lay it out for you. We go through everything, pinpoint some areas of concern or not, come up with the solutions to fix it, help you expedite that and work through it. And then some people are good for 3, 6 months. Some people need a little bit longer. It really depends on what your needs are within your business. Then we have reception. You want to hire a new reception team, and but they need training. How do we go about training them? We find out what the needs are, what the software is, who we're working with, meeting them and taking them through the proper training. Reception is huge. Reception is the hub of your business. We have some clients that have been with us for years and they just kind of touch base. This has been an issue. I'm doing good. We check in with them every few months, and you're not paying all this. If somebody's a client for 7 years, it doesn't mean that that they're on the payroll and they're paying monthly for dues. You pay for the service that you require, and then you're done. You become a member with the Delforge Group, and with that membership, there's a whole list of things that are at your fingertip to be able to retrieve information. A phone call, a WhatsApp. I was telling you through the email when we were talking about recruitment, the WhatsApp is very hot. The members have access to and can chat with each other salon owners, managers, stylists all around the world. If they have questions, they'll pop in the WhatsApp and ask a question, and people are offering their help and their advice. So it's not a one size fits all. Whatever you need in your business, the structure that you need, there's a price point. And then once you're done, you're done. But we're always here to help.
I think this is really interesting stuff. So what type of things, let's just say, in the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year, what has been the number one most
Mm,
common issue that you've helped
mm.
people or help or worked with people through? Sorry.
Right. Well, financials is always, as things change, as regulations change, the industry is changing, salary, taxes, COVID, post COVID, finances is always up there. But I've been dealing with a lot of recruitment. And that's why when we started discussing that, salon and spas are really struggling with recruitment and not only hiring, but and then keeping them once they're in the business. So that's been a real struggle.
That is so interesting. I can't
Yeah.
believe that after all of our conversations back and forth, I didn't know that piece. And that
Hmm.
connects so much of everything, the stuff that we're
Yeah.
working on. Oh, cool. So it's so interesting. So like, have
Retail too
you
has been a bit retail training. Um, you get busy, you forget, you get lackadaisy with it. Retail's a big thing within the salons and the spas, and besides training reception, you want to train them on retail as well, and the staff. It's great to have a refresher course, and maybe the language needs to be a little bit different in coming across to the clients, because what I hear from everybody now, well, Amazon and Ulta. Okay, well, Amazon and Ulta don't guarantee your products. So when you have a client that's in your salon and you did a full head of highlights and the haircut, and they're walking out the door without that shampoo and the conditioner that you're using on them, you're really doing them a disservice. You really need to make sure that they understand why you're using these products here on a daily. Why should they should take it home with them? So retail maybe has to be about third in that.
Oh, interesting. I
Yeah.
saw Presley Poe made a video saying that she has a new policy where she doesn't allow customers to take pictures of products.
I saw that. I saw that video. Mhm.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to know more and I have a bigger conversation
Ugh.
about that. Like I want to know, maybe I'll hit her up and see if she's interested in answering me. But like
We
after a
were
while,
touching on that a little bit too in the salon, and you're spending an hour, 2 hours with the client, and then you lay out, well, this is the shampoo, this is the conditioner, this is the product that I use to style your hair. Here is everything that I used on you. And they're like, oh, can I just take a picture of that? And you sit there and you're like, here we go, right to Amazon. But listen, you can't guarantee, they're not guaranteeing Amazon. You can't return it once it's open. So,
well,
at
and the other,
least,
yeah, yeah. I
well,
mean,
as a salon, it's nice to guarantee your products too. Give them a 90-day money back guarantee. Listen, if you're not happy with it, I get it. Bring it back. We'll exchange it or refund it for you within the 90 days. As the manager or an owner, you're going to take that and put it on the back bar. So it's not really going to waste. And it's customer service. It's a customer service based industry. You want them to be happy. And I guarantee you, if they have to return that product, they're going to be more than likely to purchase from you again, knowing that they can return it. So,
yeah, selling retail has, it's always been ingrained in me to educate the customer and talk about, at the end of the appointment, talk about when I need to see them, when their hairs are going to need to be touched up or freshened
hmm
up or whatever, and all the products that they should be using. And I grab the products and I take them to the desk and, like old school, like we were
yes.
trained from
Well,
like
that's the
decades ago.
yes, it's a nice way of doing it. And then, what's the percentage of them that are saying, "Oh, great, thank you," and purchasing it, and then who's the ones that are leaving it aside?
I have to say, I that's a good question. I'd have to look those numbers up, but I will say that since COVID, people have been more interested in buying products from me than before, which is
Nice.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'm you having a unique experience, but I say to the clients, I'm like, well, here you could get this, and just so you know, it's the same price as buying it at CVS or on Amazon.
And you can guarantee it, at least. You can't
I don't even say that.
guarantee
I
it.
said it just really helps. It really helps us out if you can buy
Mm,
it from us. If you get it here, but if you don't want to, that's cool. But I
yeah.
think we should change our policy and be like, if you can find it at a cheaper price and it's not a knockoff and it's not expired, then
And it's not expired and not pre-opened
and not
already,
a, yeah, then we'll
Yeah.
match that price. I'm be curious to know
I
what that's
did. I
like.
used to do this really cool thing, and the other stylist picked up on it. I don't know if it was like that just made it special and people bought from me, but at the sink, as I was using, a product on them, I pump it into my hand or squirt it into my hand, and I would hand them the bottle, and they have no choice, but they're holding it and looking at it, and they're looking at and they're like, what does this mean, and what is this ingredient? And I'm like, well, it's all natural, and it's paraben free, and it's silicone free, and that's exactly what you're looking for. And oh yeah, I heard about that, I didn't know that. I said, well, I have it right here, if you want it, I'll put it up on the desk for you so we don't forget. Okay. Something with the touching and then the smelling it and and then I'm touching them and working it in their hair. It was just something that I did at one time, and it seemed to click, and then everybody started doing it. So you see the whole line of sink of clients getting their hair done, and everybody's got a product in their hand. So I don't know if that was the golden ticket, but it helped. And I guess sight and touch, and that was it.
It's so interesting. I Let's go back to the recruiting part where you said so. Like, could you give us an example of what type of issues people are having?
Mm,
Okay, so like you said, they're having challenges recruiting. Um,
yeah.
does that mean that they're not even getting people to the door, or are they getting people to the door? What can you expand on that a little bit?
um I think the education, number one, after during COVID, um, really kind of put a kibosh in bringing in the recruitment. I found that we had to like re up the ante with the schools, and we used to what we used to do is you have to reach out to the schools every year. Hey, just touching base. I know you have new classes starting September, June, whatever it is. Um, Posters. We used to put up posters of with like a QR code and ask the teachers to put it in like the kitchen area of the school if they wanted to download the QR code and get some information about the salon, and then they would take them right to a port where they can apply online for a position, letting the schools know that, hey, we're open for shadowing. We would love for some of your staff, your crew students to come into the salon and shadow with us. Going in, doing demonstrations to all the schools, the private and the public schools, the BOCES, and doing demonstrations, meeting them. I used to go in and do a demonstration and then spend like an hour or so and talk with the students and listen to their questions. And they would ask questions like, how long am I going to have to be an assistant for? You know, things that they don't know what they're in for. And, you know, I would say everybody's different. It really depends on your learnings and your technique and how quickly you pick up things and how confident you are. So having that interaction all the time is important. Now, once you get them to come in and fill out an application, it's almost like you have to be on your A game just as much as they have to be on their A game to get hired. What do you have to offer them? There's, 10,000 salons in, a few town area, so they can bounce to any one. What is it that's going to entice them to come in and work and stay? And that's education, that's the staff, that's the kindness, the respect that everybody should have for each other. The whole culture and the environment in the salon, I think, is what keeps them. And you have to be there to give it, or they're gonna get up and go someplace else.
So what so for the salon that I manage, we have a lot of privilege and luxury to not have to stress about not being able to hire a student in school because we're a six stylist salon,
Okay,
and
okay.
everybody is a senior stylist, and we have an apprentice, but I don't know where that's going to go. We got some pretty serious conversations coming up, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you have a salon that's bigger,
Yeah.
you need to like hire people. I get it. All this the stylists at the salon that I'm at are all they have all of them have full books, and the
Mm,
likelihood any and their where they are in their life, they're thinking more about most of them are thinking about retirement more than they're thinking about anything else. And
yeah.
so
You
so
have no assistants, or you
we
said you
have
have
assistants
one?
who are our full-time assistants. That's
Perfect.
their career assistants, and
Okay, and there's people that, and that's fine too. I've met a few people that have no expectation to do anything other, and that's fine as well,
they're
you know?
also not young. And it's not about a young people in the salon.
Okay, so
We
that's
got the front
okay.
desk. We got me. I just turned 40, and we got another guy who looks younger than me, and
You're not
he's a
old, you
little
still
older
have
than
a
me.
long time to go.
Sure, but I'm not 20 something or 30,
Yeah,
not
and
really
bending over
30.
the sinks all day long either. That's tough.
True, but like I found that the younger folk like to work with younger folk, and
Yes,
there's actually all kinds of studies on this that prove that that's exactly right. Like I think it's something like over
right.
60% want to be work around people their age, which is so interesting. Like
Yeah.
it's so interesting because
Well,
I was raised to put surround yourself with people who are better and wiser than you, so that you can
right.
get from them, get from them.
Well, yeah, the knowledge, right? Isn't that what it's all about? That's why we say, all the years that I'm in the industry and you're in the industry, you put it all that education together, and you can rule the world like that. I get it. They want to be the younger ones, and we like to hire people that, I don't want to say that. more mature in age. Okay. So they have a little bit more at stake. There's still now the dynamics are changing quickly. You're not moving out of your parents' house as quickly as you did, years ago. Financially, it's a struggle. So they don't have the big burdens of the bills, so that's another thing. When somebody has a car payment, and I used to love to hear the new ones higher 2, 3 years in. I'm getting a new car, and I was thrilled to death for them and couldn't wait to take my change and throw it in the back seat and say good luck. But in the back of my head as a manager, I'm going, she's going to need that paycheck because she's going to be here every week. So that's the mentality behind that.
Well, do you think that the people who are having biggest trouble are the ones with the bigger salons?
For
Like
sure.
how many
I
sick.
would think so.
Yeah, because like, okay, so
Hmm.
our salon is about 1,500 square feet. We have six stylists and probably 11 chairs, maybe 12 chairs. And
Yeah.
we use every single, almost every one of us uses two or three chairs
Right.
at a time throughout the day. So we don't really have any room for anybody else anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, for us, it's like frustrating to the challenges we have finding people, but we're also like, maybe we'll just take a break from this hiring thing for a while.
Well, that's okay
you
too.
know,
If you really wanted to, go to you can always put an ad out on Indeed. I find a lot of traffic on Indeed, get a lot of response, but you have to wean them out too. They're like habitual Indeeders, I call them. They're just constantly applying for the same job over and over
never
again,
showing up to interviews.
Yes, it's a struggle. But staying in touch with, and I'm sure you could do that. You're in touch with everybody, your local schools. Hey, what's going on? What's it take for you to go in and introduce yourself to the new group that's, graduating soon, and saying, I have an opening for an apprentice, and we would love for you to come in and give us your applications. And you take some names and emails and phone numbers, for future reference. And that's a great way to do it too, especially
Uh,
when you're not constantly out there advertising.
well, I would say, like, I'm kind of speaking hypothetically and actually anecdotally. So, like, yes, we do everything I said about our situation is true. We are not currently hiring because I'm working with the apprentice who is, if it doesn't, no matter what happens, if it doesn't work out with her, then we would be open potentially. But
Right.
the rest of the team has said that because they would like to get somebody in certain positions that is not a training stylist, like the front desk. One of
Gotcha.
our ideas was I wanted the front desk to be part of the training process for the apprentice because I don't think a well-rounded good hairdresser can't handle the front desk. And so, like,
Mm,
I think if part of the communication, customer service, and how to build a
yeah.
book and how the
Yes.
salon works and understanding how other stylists work, I think it's an integral part of training. Well, we've had like some issues. So the team is like, can we not hire somebody who isn't want to do this as their job? And
Yeah.
that means, so it's like what we want to do is at Hairdresser Strong is facilitate shadowing, which you brought up earlier. So I'm glad you brought it
Yeah.
up. Will we be able to hire? Yeah, I mean, most of the time, I've been working on this one apprentice for 2 years almost, and I'm just trying to like get her along, and if she moves on the floor, then we have to build her. So likelihood that we're actually in the market to hire an up and come a rising stylist is very low for the
Yeah.
foreseeable future. However, when you talk about shadowing, and big salon versus small salon, when have you advised people to introduce, like, go to, like, what is the advice that you're giving to a salon owner who has maybe multiple spots to fill? Are you ever telling them maybe you should consider downsizing?
Oh gosh. Um, no,
Okay.
because that would be That's never come to my mind to
Okay.
downsize. So maybe regrouping and reorganizing how
Okay.
you're got your team going on. Um, what I find with, of course, you have the more stylists, the bigger team you have, the more assistance that you're going to need. And I was in a place, as a matter of fact, just this Saturday, I was speaking with somebody, and we were discussing how it was early Saturday morning. I got there at 9. We had a meeting at 9, and two of her assistants pulled out sick. And she goes, well, it's July, it's Saturday. They want to be at the beach. And I said, okay. So I'm watching now the staff, the stylists lose their mind. There's a wedding party, and then the phone's ringing, and there's only one receptionist. And I'm watching the chaos, and it's 9:15 on a Saturday morning, and they're open till 6. And I felt the anxiety. So when the anxiety is building up in me, you already know that's going to be a bad day for everybody. So it goes down the whole line, it trickles down. Now your receptionist is stressed, and now you don't have assistants. So the stylist all back there, and there goes the towels, and who's yelling. And I said, so what's your protocol on this? Well, we're going to call so and so and so and so. We're going to wait for the morning rush to die down. I said, well, who's in charge of that? Who is the one that says the phone call comes in, so and so sick? Then what's the next step from there? You have to be right hanging up that phone and on the phone with somebody else. I need your help. I really appreciate it if you came in today. I tell you what, you're supposed to work Sunday, not Saturday. I'll work it out, and I'll give you the day off tomorrow if you come in. There's got to be a way. You cannot have a staff of 40 stylists, mind you.
That's insane.
40.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I had immediate anxiety. I sat there and I was like, I started to get a stomach ache. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can't
kind
do
of
this
getting
here.
anxiety thinking about it.
Yeah, it was a bit much. So I'm going into like, well, I'll help you, and I'm back there helping. And that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to meet with the owner and discuss things, and everything is just falling apart. And it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning. And you have to have a protocol with that. So there's the pros and the cons. Anybody who wants to have a large salon like that, I don't I don't even know what kind of personality you have to survive that. I managed a salon where we had 13 stylists on the floor, 4 or 5 assistants. So there was about 20 people between reception, stylists, and assistants. And that was a lot. And I had that down pat because I did it for so many years. Then I walk into the door to speak to somebody that has double that. And recruitment for them is 24 hours, 7 days a week. You just constantly have to be recruiting. That's a full-time job in itself. You need to hire somebody just to hire people. It's overwhelming. So your salon sounds just perfect. It sounds lovely. That would be a lovely place I would love to walk into and say, "Oh, you need a little help with retail training? Perfect. Let's do that."
Well, what we're trying to do is, well, what I want to do is I saw this salon that has deskless, and I've never seen it done in a tasteful
Mm,
way before. I always feel like
mm.
it's very much like TSA security check.
Oh, with
And
like the kiosk to check in and
yeah,
check
yeah,
out type thing?
yeah. So I saw one
Pros
that
and cons.
yeah, I saw one that's amazing. Like it looks like this tiny little box. It's
Mhm.
folding. It's not like bulky.
Is
And
it from a software? Is it a software?
well, it's a hardware with a software. I don't
Well,
even know.
like you
I'm
the
gonna have to
soft
go back and look at
yeah.
it and get the name of it. But I was just thinking, like, we're a high-end salon, so we're not just going to get rid of the front desk. However, it would be nice to be able to have some more
Yeah.
flexibility. My idea of having someone at the desk, like if we're trying to transition everybody, as many people as possible, over down to text message. We don't have online booking because I haven't found one that I like yet, and that
The
also has.
kiosk that I mean, that's great. That's the options there. And there is something like that that's available. I actually used right after COVID because, of course, you had to change the whole dynamic of the salon. and everything had to be, no contact, and you wanted to be open and you wanted to get the people in. So we bought and went to a new software. We went to Boulevard. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but that's when you said the kiosk, that's what we had. We had a kiosk by the front door. We had the little table with the hand sanitizer. You checked in, you put in your phone number or your name, and it checked you in, and it notified the stylist that you were there. You could actually set it up to pay for your service too. That's contactless, no reception at times when people are in a rush and they tap the card
Yeah,
or
more
Apple
for
Pay.
that, more for when it's busy or for when it's a rush, not
Yeah.
necessarily to get rid of the front desk. But anyway, we're approaching up on our
I
time.
know. I know. It's a
This has
lot to
been a
talk
great
about.
conversation.
Yeah, thank you
So
so
what
much.
I want to do is I would like to just wrap up with I like some sort of advice. I feel like the conversation that we had, the one person who is listening to this that I want to make sure that we hear from you on is if you're a salon owner and you're struggling with recruitment,
Mhm.
what piece of advice do you have for that person?
Make sure that what you're offering within your four walls is um, is intriguing. Education, they're coming out of school most of the time, right?
Hmm.
Um, and if they're not coming out of school, they're looking to fulfill um, to be a stylist. So when you have something nice to offer, a package like you would your stylist that you're coming in, whether it's education needs to be top, right? um, PTO. Maybe you offer paid time off. Maybe you offer health insurance, and then potential raises along the way. Kind of structure it where what you have to offer is going to entice them to want to stay. And if you promise it to them, give it to them.
Okay,
And
so attract by having a really compelling
nine, yes,
offer
yes.
and keep them by fulfilling your promises.
Yes. Well, how many,
A lot, like
come in and say they promised me education and training and now I'm
a
not doing
lot.
it. So that's a big deal. People say, "Oh, no, I'm telling you, if you say it to them and you offer it to them, give it to them and be
Amen.
kind and have just be in a healthy work environment and offer that to them and make sure that structure is there and kindness and respect, and you're good to go."
Amen. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
That was
you.
I feel like that's a great place to sign off there. I look forward to editing this and getting this out. I
Yeah.
also think I'll be talking more and more about shadowing, and so
Mm.
anybody out there that is listening or watching is wants to learn more about shadowing, stay tuned. If anybody out there listening is interested in receiving some help with coaching, please don't hesitate to reach out to Charlene. Her description and information will be in the description below. You could also DM me if you can figure it out. And then
Mhm. Thank you.
um, also stay tuned for potentially some live conversations. Maybe Charlene and I will get on one day, like an evening after work, and have a conversation like
Love
old
to.
school talk radio and ask people to come on the air and ask us questions. If you're into
That would
that.
be fun.
Yeah,
That
okay.
would be great. A Q&A, a
Yeah,
live Q&A.
awesome. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, until then, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.